Welcome to all. Today we shall read an important topic, that is clause. It is very important. Most of the students ask about this topic. If you do not understand exactly what is clause, you can't progress, you can't understand. Okay? I have given 3 steps for better understanding. Okay? The first step. What is clause? What is clause? Clause? What is clause? Clause is a sentence or part of a sentence and contains a subject and a finite verb in the predicate part. It's called clause. Okay? So clause contains, that is, subject, finite verb, and complete sense. Okay? For example, okay, suppose he is working. He returned home. Okay? You see, his subject, it is finite verb and is working is predicate. And it expresses complete meaning or complete sense. So it is a clause. It is single clause and a simple sentence. Simple sentence. Similarly, he returned home. Subject, finite verb, and predicate. So a clause contains subject, finite verb, and complete sense. In the complete sense or complete meaning is known as clause. Okay? This is the first step. Second step. Second step for a better understanding clause. Go there. Stand off. Okay? Go there is your clause. Because subject you is mute. Subject you is mute. Subject you here. Go there, finite verb, and it is a predicate part. So it is a clause. Stand up, stand, finite verb, and stand up means you stand up. It is mute. So it is also a clause. Okay? Because subject is mute, that is finite verb and a complete sense or a complete meaning. Step third. Very quickly. Okay? It is a phrase. Okay? It is a phrase, not a clause. So what is the difference between clause and phrase? It contains subject, finite verb, and complete sense or complete meaning. But a group of words does not express complete sense or meaning. No finite verb, no subject. That is phrase. So it is a phrase. That is adverb phrase. Adverb phrase. Phrase is type. Adverb phrase, conjunction of phrase, preposition of phrase, noun phrase. Okay. Very quickly, but say time goes very quickly. Okay? So it is a clause. Because subject, finite verb, and it is predicate part. So clause in a sentence and phrase is also a sentence. So it is a clause. Okay. Another example of the hill. Okay. It is a phrase, that is noun phrase. Noun phrase. Okay. So it has no complete sense or complete meaning, no subject, no finite verb. But he stood of the hill. It is complete sense, subject and finite verb. Okay. So a clause contains subject, finite verb in the predicate part and expresses a complete sense or meaning. Clear? Okay. Then, what does clause do? It is very important. What does clause do? Okay. What does clause do? Clause does two things. It increases sweetness of the language. Second, combining ideas. Okay. For example, big building. Big building. It is a phrase. That is noun phrase. It has no complete sense or meaning, no subject, no finite verb. But, and there is no sweetness. Okay? But, say, they lived in a big building. So, it is a clause. Okay? And it increases sweetness of the language. How? They lived in a big building. They lived in a royal building. They lived in a beautiful building. So, clause is such a thing which increases sweetness of the language. And it is combining ideas. Okay? Another example. We felt delighted as we won a prize or match. Okay. So, clause, that is single clause. Win a prize, that is clause, single clause. It is joined by pronoun conjunction, that is as. So, we felt delighted as we won a prize. We felt delighted as we won in a match. So, increases sweetness of the language and combining ideas. So, clause does two things. Okay? Then comes kinds of clauses. Kinds of clauses or types of clauses. Mainly two types. Main clause or say independent clause. Subordinate clause or say dependent clause. Okay. So there are two types of clauses mainly, main clause or say independent clause or say principal clause. For example, or say I like mathematics. Okay, I met a ruffian. Do you know ruffian? Ruffian. Okay, so I like mathematics. It is independent clause. So what is main clause or independent clause? Which clause does not depend on any other clause, and it expresses complete thought or complete meaning. That is known as main clause, or say independent clause, or say principal clause. For example, I like mathematics, I met a ruffian, or I met a robber or some man. Okay. Subordinate clause. What is subordinate clause? Which clause always depend on any other clause. It cannot express complete thought or complete meaning. That is subordinate clause. For example, I say she takes medicine because she suffers from fever. Okay. She takes medicine because she suffers from fever. It is main clause. It is, that is subordinate clause or say independent clause. Because this clause depend on main clause. Because she suffers from fever, depend on main clause, she takes medicine. Okay. It is also joined by coordinate conjunction. So it is subordinate clause or dependent clause is also known as coordinate subordinate clause, coordinate dependent clause. Okay. For another example, the book which was lost is found again. Okay. The book is found again. Main clause or independent clause? The book is found again is MC or independent clause, IC. Okay. Which was the last? That is dependent clause or say SC, subordinate or dependent clause. Dependent clause. Okay. Book which was lost is found again. The book is found again, hela MC or independent clause. Which was lost, SC or a dependent clause, because it depends on the main clause. The book is found again. Okay. So how will you detect dependent clause or a subordinate clause? Coordinate conjunction part is known as dependent clause or subordinate clause, and subject and final verb. Okay. So this is the subordinate clause or a dependent clause. Then dependent clause or say subordinate clause are divided in three parts. Number one, noun clause. Number two, adjective clause. Number three, adverb clause. Adjective and relative clause. Then adverb clause. Okay. three types of dependent clause or say subordinate clause: noun clause, adjective clause, or say relative clause, adverb clause. Then what is noun clause? Which subordinate or dependent clause works as a noun that is known as noun clause? For example, everybody knows that MC, main clause, is a dependent clause or say subordinate clause. Okay. Though it is dependent clause or subordinate clause, act function as a noun, so it is noun clause. When subordinate clause or say dependent clause function as a noun, that is known as noun clause. Okay. Then comes noun clause structure and function. Okay. Structure of noun clause. Number one, that clause. Two, double H clause. Three, that is noun clause. When noun clause begins with that is known as that clause or say noun clause. When noun clause begins with double H word, that is known as double H clause or say noun clause. When noun clause begins with if or whether clause, that is also known as if or whether clause or say noun clause. Next, structure and function of noun clause. He told me that they were ready. Okay? They are ready. That is that clause or say noun clause. Because at the beginning that is used. It is known as that clause or say noun clause. Okay? That clause or say noun clause. I cannot say where John has gone. MC, main clause or say independent clause, where John has gone. That is double H clause or say noun clause. If noun clause begins with double H word, that is known as also double H clause or say noun clause. Okay. No one lives if whether the rumor is true. Main clause, if whether the rumor is true. Hela? Okay. That is if whether clause or say noun clause. It is known as if whether clause or noun clause. When noun clause begins with subordinate clause or say dependent clause begin with if whether, that is known as if whether clause or say noun clause. Another example, father asked me, main clause or say independent clause, if whether they were my friends. It is if whether clause or say noun clause. When dependent clause or say subordinate clause begin with if whether, that is known as if whether clause or say noun clause. Okay. Then function. It is used as subject of a verb. Main clause or say independent clause is helpful to us. So, noun clause used as subject of a verb. So, it is used subject of a verb. It can be object of a verb. Sunita said. Main clause or say independent clause, that she was happy. That is object of the verb. It is verb. So object of her, it is verb. Object of her verb. This is object. So noun clause is used as object of a verb. It can be the object of the preposition, main clause or say independent clause. To whatever you say, this is known as noun clause, and it is used object to the preposition. Object to the preposition. It can be the complement of a verb. My decision is main clause or say independent clause, that he must be help you, that is complement of a verb. Be verb, that is complement, that he must help you, it is complement of a verb is. So noun clause is used as subject of a verb, object of a verb, object of the preposition, and complement of a verb. Another point is that very important, which helps for the competitive examination, that is Point 5. Function of noun clause. It can be used as a position to the nouns or pronouns. This is very important point, which is helps for the competitive examiners. Or say, when you are going to appear entrance or any competitive exam, so it is very important. Okay. So, for example, the news that his father come is true. Okay. So, firstly, know what is apposition. If you do not know what is a apposition, cannot understand this point. So, apposition means placing side by side. For example, I say Bhubaneswar capital of Odisha is a temple city. Okay. You see, Bhubaneswar, the capital of Odisha, refers same place. It refers same place. Same place. Okay. So capital of Odisha is to the opposition of Bhubaneswar. I'm clear? Capital of Odisha is the opposition to Bhubaneswar. I'm going to clear it. Suppose say Bhubaneswar is the capital of Odisha. Bhubaneswar is a temple city. Okay. See, capital of Odisha is to the opposition of Bhubaneswar. If you omit anyone, either Bhubaneswar or capital, there is a complete sentence. Bhubaneswar is the capital of Odisha, it is a complete sentence. Bhubaneswar is a temple city, it is a complete sentence. Okay, to omit capital, if you say capital of Odisha is Bhubaneswar, capital of Odisha is a temple city. So if we omit anyone, either Bhubaneswar or capital, there is a complete sentence. That is opposition. Okay, for example, in grammar, the news that his father has come is true. The news is true. It is main clause. That his father has come, it is noun clause. Because his father has come is the opposition to the news. Okay? Opposition to the news. If you omit his father has come, the news is true. Complete sentence. If you omit the news is true, his father has come. Complete sentence. So, it is opposition to the news. It is very important point. Okay? Thanks to all for watching my video. Please not to forget, subscribe, like and share it. Thanks to all.